Restart in three, two, one.
Hello and welcome to episode 7 of TBD3B, the podcast where we talk about things.
And this is the episode where we restart over and over again. We've restarted twice now in the same day and then again previously last week. But welcome everybody. Welcome back to TBD3B. We made a permanent name change, right?
I don't know what
Previously,
you're talking about. This was always the name of the podcast. It was never called anything different.
right. That's actually true when you referred to it in intros. Whenever you introduce the podcast. I think you've always said TBD3B.
Yeah, that's because that's what it was always called.
Mm-hmm. Yes, to you. It was a little inconsistent in the platforms, but now, never so. It's going to be...
That's 1/3 of the people that have ever listened to this podcast.
What? What 1/3? What
Of
about
the
them?
people that have ever listened to this podcast
What about them?
have always thought that this is called TBD3B. Potentially
Mm.
2/3. Who knows?
Who's the second, third? Oh, I see.
The only other person.
Solid. Right, that was TBD3B. Last episode, we should do a quick recap. It was an interview with Gus, and that was a
Was
good
it really?
episode. That was a while ago. That was like 3 weeks ago now. But that was a fun time.
Should be TBD 3 weeks. Am I right?
Yeah, I want to end this episode already. Fuck.
Thanks
Yeah.
for watching, everyone. Catch you again next week.
Yes. It's not even gonna be next week. It's gonna be like 3 weeks from now because this shit is starting to get inconsistent. But that's okay. That's okay. Who needs schedules? Exactly. Nobody. All right. Let's talk about what you were telling me before. You're saying somebody just got arrested across the street?
Yeah, somebody got arrested across the street. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
There were 2 police cars. The lights were going. There was a guy in handcuffs.
Were you like
And
walking by? Is that how you saw it?
no, I was getting off the bus and I looked to my left. Actually, I was looking straight up because in order to get off the bus, I had to look forward. And then I turned right to get
Wait,
off the
so you
bus.
were looking forward or looking up? You said straight up.
So yeah, no, he was not getting arrested in the sky.
Yeah.
No. There was like a street, and the police cars were on the street, and that's where he was getting arrested. And I happened to look in that direction,
Okay. You
and there he
know,
was.
wait, when you're saying on the street, was that on the side of the street or like in the middle of the road?
So it was like all the parallel parking places, like along the curb, were full. So the police cars were in the middle of the road, blocking the way. So people had to like go around them.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't really see too well what was going on. There were some police cars. It was crazy, bro.
Was there only
It's the
two
most
though?
interesting thing we have to talk about in the podcast.
It's okay. We're catching up. I don't know like what happened to you recently, so like
Yeah,
yeah.
how's life?
How's
Trip
life?
tap.
I think we stopped doing that, by the way. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
okay. Yeah.
Pat. You were always
I
Patty
was always
anyway.
Pat, yeah. Jesus Christ, look at this.
Oh my gosh! Did you hear? Beverly Cleary died.
That was a terrible transition. I wasn't trying to get to that yet.
I
Okay, we'll
didn't
go.
know that she died. Oh my gosh! What a
Do,
tragedy.
do you know who Beverly Cleary is?
No.
Beverly Cleary was a author of lots of children's books, and quite a few famous ones as well. I'm sure you've heard of Beezus and Ramona because that one is very famous. But she wrote other books as well, and I think she died a month ago, the ripe old age of 104.
Wow.
It's 104.
Taken from us too soon.
Mm, yes.
So was she a major part of your childhood?
Yes,
Were you
that's why
raised
I was
on
gonna bring her up because, do you ever listen to a lot of audiobooks when you were younger?
little? No,
Never?
no. I had my parents read to me, or the kindergarten teacher read to me.
Mm.
That's my share of being read to.
So when I went to elementary school, the private elementary school that I went to was pretty far from our house because it was like a Montessori school and there was only one and it wasn't that close to where we lived. So to get to there, we had to drive quite a bit. And the trip was around 20 to 30 minutes, nah, more like 20 minutes, 20 to
That's
25
far.
minutes. Yeah, that's not extremely close for an elementary school drive. So usually, during those 5 years when I went to elementary school, actually more than 5 years because it includes like kindergarten as well, my mom would put on audiobooks of a lot of different stories. And her audiobooks, one of the most distinctive ones I can remember is there's this book called Dear Mr. Henshaw. And Miss Beverly Cleary was the author of that one. And you know what's funny? I when this news broke, it was like 3 weeks ago, right?
Mhm.
And she was
More than that.
more than that, yeah. But she's actually from Portland, Oregon, I
Oh wow.
think, or like at least very native to Portland, Oregon. Like she lived here, I think, when she died. She was like here. So a lot of people like it was a bigger deal on our local news. And
She actually died in California.
okay, yeah, but I know she lived like here or for a good portion of her life. Either she grew up here or just like lived here.
She was born in McMinnville.
Yes, that's in Oregon. It's not very close, but like an hour away from around Portland, Oregon, that area. So
Mm.
either way, it made the local news because she at least has like connections to this area. And we saw it on the news and my mom was like, "Oh, do you remember all those Cleary books that you used to listen to on the car?" And I said, "No, I don't remember." This is like the callback to that episode where my memory is really bad. But now that I think about it more, so my mom then started explaining about listing some of the books like Dear Mr. Henshaw and Beezus and Ramona, and I think those are the only two I can actually remember. But now that I think about it more, I can remember. There's like, um, so Dear Mr. Henshaw is a book that she wrote, and it's one of the books that I listened to on the car. And when I first learned of Cleary, it's so easy to see clearly. I don't know. I bet people fumble over that all the time. But when I first heard of this news, right, I didn't remember anything about the audiobook stuff. But then, after my mom told me about it, I recognized the name of the book, but I still didn't have any of the memories of actually listening to it. But I was like, okay, I know this book. Maybe I can recover this memory. Like my mind's a lost hard drive, and maybe I can recover this particular memory if I actually read the book again. So, like a week later, I downloaded an ebook version of it and I read it, and it was really good. And there were some lines in the book that triggered this little part of my memory that was hidden away, but now um, the lines I can distinctly remember. There's like a section of a chapter and I just remember the audiobook version of it and the dude who read it out and the memories all just came flooding back and yeah,
Wow.
it's kind of sad.
Now, are you sure those memories are real? Maybe your brain just made them up
I
to
don't
satisfy you.
I don't think the memories. So the memories are more of memories of the story. I don't think I have distinct images or recollections of actually sitting in the car and listening to something. But like I read the first two chapters, and then as I read more and more, I started remembering the story of how it went through
Mm,
the memories of when I listened to it as an audiobook, if that makes sense. Um,
that makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
yeah.
Also, this was like in the mid to late 2000s.
Yeah.
So was your mom playing a CD?
Yes. Yes. So the whole audiobook thing that I was saying was we would listen to like so many audiobooks, right? It wasn't just this book. I remember I think Percy Jackson, which you still haven't read, have you?
I don't know what you're talking about. Is
Mhm. Yeah, but Percy Jackson, I think the first exposure I ever had to it was listening to it on audiobook, like the first two books. And then my sister had like a copy of the third book that the author had signed or something like that.
oh,
Um, but those were those books. I remember particularly there's this other series of books called Fudge. Do you know it's like
never heard of it.
let me search it up right now.
I just searched up fudge.
By Judy Bloom. Have you heard of that
It
author?
looks good. Yeah, I heard. I mean, probably, maybe.
Yeah, Judy Bloom works. Let me just read off some of her most famous works. Uh
Yeah, I've never heard of any of these things.
yeah, there's this series called the Fudge series that she wrote, and it's called Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing, Super Fudge, Fudge-A-Mania, and Double Fudge. And I remember those were also books that I listened to on audio instead of actually reading. I don't think I ever read any of those books with my eyes, and I absorbed all of the story through my ears. And I can actually still distinctly remember specific aspects of each of those stories because they were, I don't know. The funny thing is back then, I didn't watch a lot of cartoons and stuff, right? And the entertainment that I had was actually mainly just listening to audiobooks. So I listened to these same stories over and over again. And that's why some of these stories, like in Double Fudge, I still remember a lot of the main plot points of what happens. Like their cousins, this Fudge family, which is like the main character family in the series. They like go to Washington D.C. and then they meet their cousins there, and then the cousins go back with them back to New York. I can remember all of that, and I haven't listened to the audiobook in like 10 plus years, but I listened to it
Um,
so many times over and over again back then that it's just ingrained in my head.
sounds like
Um,
psychological torture to me.
or psychological pleasure because you listen to it because I enjoyed the stories.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I guess. Yeah, if it's your cup of tea, then sure.
seems like we're glass half full, glass half empty. Differences right here. Um,
Yeah, I mean, you don't want freshness in your stories.
well,
Some change things up a little bit, you know.
okay, so the main constraint is if I wanted new audiobooks, right? I have to go to the library and check them out, and I couldn't do that regularly. Like it was dependent on when my mom went to the library. Um, and the other source of listening to audiobooks was also my dad. Um, I don't know if this is the correct technical term, but he burned CDs. Like
Yeah,
put stuff onto CDs, and uh, he got it from some place online, and he got audiobooks and he put them onto CDs, and that's how I'd listen to him. We used to have a whole book. It's like a CD book where it has like sleeves and you put in CDs. And we had a few books of those in the car. So if there was a specific audiobook that I wanted to listen to, you just take the CD out, slip it into the car radio player or whatever, the CD player, and listen to it on the car.
Oh,
And
wow.
that was my elementary school 20 minutes to school, 20 minutes back from school. Always listen to one of those. And the death of Beverly Cleary ignited or resurfaced those memories. I'd completely forgotten about them, but now they're in my mind again.
Like a phoenix from the ashes.
Mm-hmm.
Beverly Cleary was reborn in your brain.
Maybe not her specifically. I don't think
I was
she
trying to
wants.
be poetic, Patrick.
I don't think she wants to live in my brain. But
It's like that Black Mirror episode,
which one?
the one where they like put the consciousness of the person that died in their loved one's brain.
I don't think I watched that one. What's the title of it?
Um, mm, I think it was Black Museum.
Okay,
I
I
think that was
definitely
the
didn't watch that. Um I've watched Crocodile. That's the one where um that's the crazy one where spoiler alert, the the whole premise of that one is you could see the memories of other people if you like connected them to it.
one.
And the premise was like these two people saw a car crash, right? And then one of the dudes wanted to like confess because they like killed someone, and then the other lady couldn't do it, so she like killed him. And then there was that like insurance lady who was like going around. Do you remember that one? We like
Yeah.
watched that one.
Yes, I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, that one. I also watched Hang the DJ. You ever watch that one?
Yeah, I think I've watched most of them.
Yeah, that one is the dating one. It's like you have a
Oh.
timer of how long your date goes or your relationship goes, and then afterwards you have to break up or like go off on your separate
Mm-hmm.
places. And it's meant to you're supposed to go on all of these time dates and stuff, so then you would find your perfect match.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. There was one thing I didn't really get, and it's like the number 998 came up over and over again or something. Um, and like we didn't know why it was coming up, and it turned out that the reason that they came up, maybe it was 9,998 or something. But anyway, it was because they were at the 998th couple to like succeed the test. And the issue that I took with that is how would it know that they're the 998th person or couple to succeed the test before they have succeeded the test? Like, why would that number show up before? That doesn't make any sense to me. You know, that didn't make sense to me. Or
Wait. I think it's because do you remember the twist at the end?
yeah, no, I remember. I know what the reason it was is because they like shot out a bunch of couples in parallel, right?
In
And they were
parallel.
like, are they like a good match for each other, right? And if they're a good match for each other, they're gonna like go and break out the wall, right? They're gonna like say fuck this test and go out the wall. That was the thing. And so and then at the end they were like a 99.8% match for each other, right? Because
Oh, okay.
99.8% of the couples like broke out of the little dome thing.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But like it was still in progress. Like they were the computation. They were still like doing the test, and they had known the results beforehand. It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense.
Oh, I see. So like during the test, the 998 was showing up, even though
Yeah,
the test is what is like
generated the 998.
what generated the 998. Yeah. When you said all the tests are happening in parallel, they're mapping out all the tests. You see.
That's what they were doing. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, bro. It was actually a tabulation.
Tabulation and then a reduce into
Yeah.
a single number. Why was I saying that? Oh yeah, that's another Black Mirror episode I've watched. I haven't watched a lot of them. I've watched like those two, then the Shut Up and Dance, and then the video game
Mm.
one, and then like the first two, and I think that's it. I haven't watched any of the
First
other
one's
ones.
not good.
The pig one?
The big one, yeah.
Really? You didn't like it?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it wasn't even modern technology. It was YouTube.
Right.
I mean, not modern
Well,
technology, sorry, like futuristic technology. It
I
was
don't know
stuff that already exists.
if back then, because that's like season one, if that was already their goal to focus exclusively on that kind of stuff.
Mm,
Oh, I
yeah, I
just
don't know.
remembered. There was another one that I saw. It was the one where the mom put the chip into her daughter because
I think it's
she
called
lost.
Archangel.
Yes, that one also. That one's so. That one was sad.
Yeah.
Like how it ended up. So I don't know. I feel like it's so complicated in that story because if you're a parent, like actually, I don't actually know because I'm not a parent, so I wouldn't really know. But I could imagine that you'd want to value the safety of your child over everything else. So that's probably why she did that kind of stuff in the episode. Did you ever watch the Bandersnatch one?
Yeah. I didn't like that one that much either. It was a bit weird how it worked.
Did you enjoy the interactive aspect?
It was interesting, I guess, yeah. But it was like novelty that wore off, you know what I'm saying?
Like, did it get annoying or repetitive if you had to like redo something over and over again?
Yeah, I mean, I felt maybe if the decisions you had to make were um like, the push a guy off a bridge to stop the train kind of thing, maybe then it would have been a bit more interesting. But
Like the decisions you made would actually have more
like,
impact on the
yeah,
story?
yeah, yeah. I actually don't really remember what the decisions were, so maybe they
Okay.
were like that. I don't remember. But I remember like not being that impressed.
Hmm. I think that was the general reaction of most people. Though some people really enjoyed it. I don't know. It's kind of mixed. I never watched it, though maybe I should actually come up with my own opinion. Don't be a sheep.
Yeah,
There's this game that is a lot like that. The Bandersnatch episode. It's called
the
Late
Stanley
Shift.
Parable.
No,
Ooh.
Stanley Parable. I've played. Have you played Stanley Parable?
I think I might have it. Maybe I don't think I played it though.
Yeah, I. It was free on Epic Games a while back, and I got
Yeah,
it. But even before then, I already watched like all the endings, like from playthroughs on YouTube, because I really love that game. And just how the narrator and the stories, it was really interesting and fun. And then I played the game, and it got kind of spoiled because I already knew like most of the endings and how to do them, but it was still a fun experience. And yeah, that's right. What you were saying, it's one of those like choose your own adventure games.
right.
Um, but what I was saying that is more similar to Bandersnatch is this game called Late Shift, where it's actually a movie. Like it's a game, but it's a movie. So it is Bandersnatch where you choose your decisions, but there's a lot more decisions because the whole concept of the whole game is Bandersnatch, but a lot more decisions, and it's like a story. Um, and what I wanted to do was one day when we get back together, I feel like we should everybody in the Hammerslad should like we should all watch it and play it because
Yeah,
I think it would be fun.
dude, we're what hammer sleds. The viewers don't know what that is. So we're just having a normal conversation and recording it and putting it on the internet, bro.
That's okay
At
because no
least have
one's gonna
some
listen.
boundaries.
No one's gonna listen to this. What should I say instead? Group of friends?
Um, yeah, I don't know, or not say it. Who knows?
Okay.
It premiered at some film festivals. The New York Film Festival,
What did?
the late shift. I
Oh,
wonder how that
really?
worked. Yeah.
Wait, I'm curious actually how that
Did
worked.
the audience like vote?
Maybe. That would be really difficult if there's a large audience, because a lot of the decisions you're given like 5 seconds to make a decision. Like I'm
Hmm.
in Bandersnatch, didn't it like pause?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, in this game, it doesn't pause. Like it makes it seem like a whole connected movie. Like the scene is always going. And
Hmm.
so like a little bit of downtime in the scene where maybe the protagonist is like just hesitating, looking back and forth. That's like the time where you would make a decision about what he does. So it makes it like all seem like one connected movie.
I mean, they all had to vote on their phones, and there was a timer on the phone. But
Yeah, I don't know how well that would work.
all right, everyone, pull out your phones.
Everybody pull out your phones.
Download the app or go to this QR code. How old is the game?
Uh,
Shit. Hello?
2017.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, shit,
2016
how
actually.
long? Um,
Actually 2016.
2016. Yeah, they had like technology back then. I think they could have done it.
Uh, Maybe. I don't know if they designed the game to allow multiple phones to connect, but I don't know. Who cares about that? Um, yeah. So switching topics, um, what web browser do you normally use to do stuff?
Google Chrome.
Okay. Have you ever used any other ones or like
Um,
Firefox?
there was a project in a class I took once
Mm.
where we
Oh.
had to implement the server proxy. And we could test it out on Firefox. So I tested it out on Firefox.
That the only time you use Firefox?
Yes. Apparently Firefox is pretty cool. They did some like cool stuff in their heyday.
Like what?
I don't know, but I know they're pretty cool.
I
I've
didn't
never
know
used
that. I
them
just
though.
thought they were a web browser.
Um,
Are you saying like the company behind it, Mozilla, or the
I mean,
browser
yeah, they're
itself?
both. I think Mozilla. I mean, there's also like a wiki for HTTP stuff that Mozilla maintains. And I think they do that because they had something to do with it.
Okay.
um, not sure though. I just that's the vibe I got from what I've heard about them.
So, did you have computer labs or those kinds of things in middle school or high school where there were like,
Yeah,
and was Google Chrome like the default browser on those?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay. The computer
early on, maybe it was Internet Explorer, but
Yeah, the computer labs I had in middle school, I remember that the default browser was not Google Chrome. I actually don't remember if it was Firefox or Internet Explorer. But what I know was it wasn't Google Chrome, and Google Chrome often wasn't even installed for some reason. And even more concerning was you could actually just download and install it, like just logged in as a student account. I don't know if that was supposed to be possible, but
no, I think yeah, it gets wiped after a while. The student stuff.
hmm.
Um, yeah,
Are you saying like that
as
only? So if I downloaded it, it would only be local to my account?
yeah, it's each student has their own like file system thing that they log into. Like for us in CMU, it's the same thing.
That actually makes sense. I never considered that back in like middle school, high school, but that actually does make sense, kind of how that works. It wouldn't really make sense, yeah. The more you know. Oh. So either way, what I was gonna say is, I don't use Google Chrome now. I
Oh,
use,
really?
yeah, I haven't used it for a good like year or year and a half, maybe 2 years. I think I don't know if I switched before college, but I use a browser called Brave browser, and it's basically Google Chrome but better because it has like literally it is built off of Google Chrome. The extensions you use on Brave browser are the Google Web Store like Chrome extensions, and the look and feel of the whole browser is like Google Chrome,
Mm-hmm.
but the upgrades to it is it's a lot more like privacy centered. So one of the things that is built into the browser is a built-in ad blocker uh,
Okay.
and tracker blocker, stuff like that. And another thing that is part of it is they have this thing. So because they have a built-in ad blocker, part of their mission with the browser is to change how users view ads. And the main change that they have is users can voluntarily select to view ads, but they would be rewarded if they viewed ads. Like they'd get something called a basic attention token um, as a reward for basically clicking on ads that Brave browser give to the user. And you can turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
So if you actually wanted a completely ad-free experience, you could just have no ads using the browser. But I turned it on because I was like, ooh, rewards. Yay. I didn't actually
But what are
know.
these awards?
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
actually know what these rewards are for a long time, but I still did them. I would click because all you had to do was basically when the Windows would give a notification that the browser like just sent an ad or something. You just click on it, it opens the tab in the browser, and then you can close it right away, and then it still counts as like you viewed the ad. Um, so either way, what it gives you is something called a basic attention token, and these are like some kind of blockchain crypto thing. So they have
Mm-hmm.
actual monetary value. And a couple months ago, so I've been using it for like over a year now, right? And I've accrued up a good amount of this basic attention token.
Mm-hmm.
A couple months ago, I was trying to actually withdraw this and turn it into like money because I wanted to see if I could actually like, I don't know, make a profit, make some side cash just from this stuff with the browser. And um back then I didn't actually go through with it completely because I thought it was too much of a hassle to because I think you had to connect with one specific account website um that did this stuff back then because there wasn't a lot of websites that did basic attention token stuff, and I thought it was too much of a hassle. But back then, this is the main point that I wanted to talk about was back then the conversion rate was one basic attention token was around 20 to 25 cents
Mm-hmm.
USD. Fast forward to like 3 days ago, I rethought about trying to cash out my basic attention token cash supply, and I realize the basic attention token is now the transfer rate. One basic attention token is 1.3
Oh,
USD.
ho, whoa.
Yes, it went up that much, like 5 times. And so, guess how much basic attention token I have accrued?
Mm-hmm. Three basic attention tokens.
Much higher.
10. 100.
That's closer.
101.
133.
Mm.
So now, if I cash out on this, I would get $167.
Pretty good, but you're not gonna, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking like this probably will just keep going up. Seems like every crypto thing is just going up and up for some reason.
It can't come down. That's true. Stocks only go up,
You know?
and crypto only goes up.
Yeah. So I think I'm just gonna hold on to it and see how high it gets. Plus, like this stuff, I don't think I'm gonna be too pressed if I lose it because I literally didn't invest anything in it. It's just me clicking on something for half a second when it pops up and then closing it and then I go on with the rest of my day. So
How much token do you get for a click?
it's not a lot. It's like less than one token. Like I think it's like a fifth of a token or a fourth of a token.
Mm.
So it's otherwise that would be like too easy to I don't know, make money.
A fourth of a token is still quite a bit, right? That's like whole cents that you're getting.
Yes, yeah. Maybe it's less. I can't actually like see. I've
They're
never
probably lowering
checked.
it now. If I had to take
Yeah.
a guess, I don't know.
Um.
Well, I didn't know. How come you were keeping this a secret?
Well, it's not really a secret. Like the browser, I think more people's been using it now. But I guess you know now. You should use Brave browser because if you use Chrome, Brave browser is literally gonna feel the exact same because it is like Chrome. Everything looks the
Mm-hmm.
same as Chrome. Everything functions basically the same as Chrome, but it's just like better. I'm not a spokesperson, by the way. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
I don't have a referral
Where you
code.
can make free money.
Free money. Click here. Get rich quick. On the topic of crypto, you know Dogecoin?
Yes, I was actually gonna say each one of those um, tokens can get you like 3 Dogecoin nowadays.
You know what's so sad? So I opened like a Robinhood back when the GME, the GameStop stuff was happening.
The great democratizer, yeah.
Yeah. And I put money into it, and of course I lost money from it because I had an opportunity to actually make money, and then I didn't sell when it was high, and then it came down, and then I sold.
Buy high, sell low. It's the strat.
Yeah, it's not a very good strat, but it's the strategy that I followed, and that's what happened, and I lost a lot of money. So I had this like remaining stuff in Robinhood, and I didn't know what to do with it. And around then, Dogecoin was going through its like first or second wave. So it had like recently reached a cent.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, it was
Same time, made a lot of
around
money.
yeah. At this point, it was around 2 to 3 cent. It was around 3 cents. Okay, it was around I think 3.4 cents or something like that. I put a limit buy order for I was gonna put all of the money that I had in Robinhood into Dogecoin, just like as a meme. But I put a limit at like 3.3 cents because I thought
And it
Dogecoin
never
was
hit.
good, and then it never hit that, and now
It
it's at like
skyrocketed.
20 some cents, isn't it?
I think past 30 cents, I think.
So if I'd put it back then, I could have turned the 70 some dollars into $700.
Oh man.
And I didn't do it because I got greedy for point 0.1 of a cent of the Doge. So that is an opportunity lost, and I'm kind of sad.
Nah, no reason to be sad. I mean, if you got sad over every missed investment, you would you would never be happy. You know, you
Yeah.
gotta. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. You gotta carry on, and like, you never know what's gonna happen, right? It's not like we all have some oracle in the future and we just ignore the oracle and then go our own way, and that's why we're bad. We just took a guess, and the guess was wrong. Oh, oh, boo hoo.
Yeah, well, the guest cost me $630, so
No, it didn't cost you $630. It
it cost me $630 and
it cost you $0.
no, 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 no.
You lost no money.
I lost potential money.
Okay, if you had invested in
Bitcoin?
uh, yeah, or I mean, I don't think Bitcoin went up nearly as much as Dogecoin, but or, I mean, like okay, yeah, 10 years ago, Bitcoin. Okay, if little Patrick, if only little Patrick had known, yeah, he lost out on thousands of dollars. Dumb little Patrick, he should have known. Yeah, you can't get hung up over that stuff. You don't get hung up over that stuff. So why do you get hung up over this? It's the same thing. It makes no difference. It's literally indistinguishable.
Well, it's just something that I thought about when I see this. It's not like I go to bed every night crying, hitting my head. Why did I not buy Dogecoin? And also, like, I don't get why these cryptos are just gaining so much value. Like, I don't quite understand why.
Yeah, it's a lot of things about the markets of finances nowadays. It's a
Yeah, but
lot of
why
things.
cryptocurrencies in general?
Um, I don't know. It's like memes.
I don't think like Bitcoin or the are those like powered by memes as well. I don't like you could
Bitcoin
say
was like
that
the original meme of cryptocurrency.
I know, but
It
it's
was
not
the
one.
original meme currency.
I don't think it's much of a meme now.
Is it not? I feel like I guess now it has legitimacy because it's worth $60,000, but or 50,000. But like that's how it was fueled initially, right? Buy Bitcoin. That was like a joke. Don't actually, but now it's not a joke.
Do you have any
Buy
crypto?
GME.
Did you buy any
No,
crypto?
you can't with the Roth IRA, the account that I have. So it's like
Oh, right,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna create a new thing for it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get that. Only reason I was going to was because I had that the remaining money that I didn't lose from GameStop. Which by the way, how well is GameStop doing?
It's in the 170s. I thought recently.
It's still in the 170. It's like hovering there. I thought it would like
Tank. Yeah, I almost bought some put options. So thank goodness I didn't.
are puts the ones where you're betting it'll go down?
Yeah,
Hmm. What's the other one? Calls?
calls.
Calls.
Yeah, yeah. There's some other special one. Yeah, there's like covered calls and covered puts, and there are other things. There's all kinds of ops, options.
Did they teach about the stock market in micro when you took it in high school?
In high school, we played the stock market game, but they didn't actually teach us anything. It was just kind
Oh,
of for
okay.
fun that we did.
I didn't know they would teach it in the micro class in college, but they had a lecture on.
Oh, really? They didn't mind.
Oh, really? It
Yeah,
was on. Well, it wasn't on the stock market in total, but it was about stocks and bonds and like diversify your portfolio and like it showed during the lecture how if you put all of your money in low risk bonds or something, it's like not as good as diversifying with risk or something like that.
yeah.
I didn't actually go to the lecture. I was just reading the slides like today to catch up, but that's what they were saying. And I didn't know they would teach that in micro.
It's not really a micro concept. It's like a personal finance thing. Like if you took math phi, then they teach you probably
I
mathematical
I
finance.
think they were connecting it with some micro thing. I just can't remember what exactly. So
Yeah, well, that's a dead topic. Heterogeneity is always good, though. Even in computer systems, you always want a heterogeneous heterogeneous system in anything you do. Diversity is good. It's our strength.
What does that mean in computer systems, having diversity or
Yeah, like
heterogeneity?
you want like different processors of like different sizes and shapes and skills and abilities, so that we can allocate tasks nicely and appropriately based on their strengths and weaknesses. It's just like real life, really. We have like mechanics and philosophers and doctors and cooks, and they're all good at different things, and we assign them to them. We assign tasks to them based on what they're good at.
Right. It's like a diversity of the jobs. Because typically when I think you're just
Specialization, it's called.
yeah, I think that's the better word for it. Because when you say diversity, people usually think about diversity of like race, personal characteristics,
Well,
gender.
yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like different. It's like different cultures and backgrounds. It's you get a diversity of thought as a strength of a cosmopolitan society. You know,
But if you have like no homogeneity at all, right? Like there's no
hetero.
hetero. No, I mean homo.
If you have
In
no homogeneity at all, okay,
like
sure.
no,
So
like
everyone's a different color.
what I was saying is then how do you make connections? Because you're all like different.
Yeah, it's true. That's why nationalism is a thing, I guess, or patriotism in the American sense. Yeah, right. You're like all bonded as Americans.
Hmm. I guess that's like the one thing as
I
supposed
mean, the
to.
Soviet Union tried to do it as like, I mean, we are all the worker class, right? And then so you were united in your struggle as the proletariat. Yeah, like the thing about communism is like there's no borders. Nationalism doesn't exist. Everyone lives in happy harmony in their communes, right?
In their utopia world.
Yeah, that's what the communist state is, right? It's a utopian ideal.
You know, talking about communism, it reminds me of you said you had a friend who's like super communist.
Yeah,
When you met him, did you know that about him? Is that like how he introduced
I
himself
don't think
or
he was super communist. I don't think he knew what he knows now when I met him, since I
Oh,
met him
okay.
in like freshman year of high school.
So did you get to experience the progression as he I don't know, adopted these ideals?
I guess. I mean, he was always pretty left leaning, I'm sure, but
So how did
he's
you
the kind of guy that like once he sticks to an idea, he holds fast to it, and so
like
he's not
you
to
can't
change very
convince
much.
him to change his idea? You tried?
Um, well, he has some very compelling arguments as to why he's right always,
Mm.
and so it's hard to find faults in them sometimes.
So what was the point where you started thinking of him as that friend who's a communist?
When he started openly espousing communist beliefs and saying, "I'm a communist," um,
Did he do that
I don't know.
regularly? Like, just
I
start
mean, he doesn't
talking
like go
about.
around calling people I mean, just telling people that he's a communist. But
Mm.
I mean, on the regular, he'll yeah. I mean, he'll talk about it. I'm sure he feels very strongly about this.
Does he do any kind of activism or I don't know if you can do lobbying
No,
as a communist. That doesn't make sense. Does he try
I
and
mean,
convince other people like to become communist?
um, well, he's not like a missionary. Like, if somebody will disagree with him and is open to a debate, I'm sure he'll debate with them. But
Mm.
that's what like normal people do, right? They have conversations.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's not like trying to convert people actively. No, I don't think.
I'd be a little concerned if he was.
Would you?
Yeah?
Why?
I don't know if it's very healthy to try and actively go
Oh, I mean,
around and
mhm.
convince people of an ideology or political belief. I don't think that's healthy for any kind of
Going
belief.
around and trying to convince people.
Yeah.
That's what politicians do all the time. Otherwise, they wouldn't get elected ever.
Yeah, and that's why it's not healthy.
Okay, so what do you do instead
Don't do that.
if you want to be elected as a politician?
Um, okay, well, they don't do that all the time, do they? They do it during the campaigning season.
Um,
Like when they're elected, do they then go out to random people? And also, that is more of a avenue. The what they use, like it's an action for a different goal. Like I think their ultimate goal is to get elected, not to
yes.
directly change how other people think and sway them.
Well, they're trying to convince them to elect them. So, I
Yes,
mean, it's like,
it's like a
I mean, first of
byproduct
all,
thing.
it's easier if you actually hold the beliefs that you're trying to get elected for. But I mean, that's like a whole nother conversation. Let's say you believe actually what you're trying to get elected for. Um, then you're trying to convince people to elect you, and that's sort of indirectly you're trying to convince them that your way of thinking is right. That's sort of the idea, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, that's like the way people tend to do elections.
Right. I don't have a good like is
Also,
that
I
really
don't
a
see
counter?
how like expressing your beliefs in a public forum is a bad thing.
No, that's not a
I
bad
mean,
thing. I'm saying if you're like specifically going around to people, um like what I
I
mean
mean, if you
is
believe very strongly that you're right, and this is like some way of mode of thought that is unpopular among the populace, then you want to convince people because they, in your mind, are wrong, right? If everybody is wrong, they should be right, and so it's your duty to convince them. Why would it be a bad thing to spread truth? That's like what human society is all about, right?
uh-huh. Well, they
Spreading
should
truth.
recognize that there's no objective truth is there with these kinds of beliefs, that people have different beliefs. So,
There's not necessarily no objective truth. I mean, they're trying to answer some very difficult questions that we're still a bit lost on.
so what's
But who's to say that there's no truth? Okay, is that do we have epistemic access to that even? Like, can we know for a fact that there is no ideal society that we can work towards? I don't think so.
okay? So then, but they don't know that the one that they believe in, their belief is that ideal. Okay,
Well,
like
and in their mind, they have
I know in
a,
their mind they believe that. So I guess that's why they want to share it, but I don't
so
know.
say for the sake of argument, they are correct, right? And all of the reasons are valid. Then shouldn't they not try to convince people that they're correct because they are correct?
Uh,
Why would that be a bad thing?
why would that be a bad thing? Maybe it wouldn't be a bad thing. I think I was coming more from the opinion that it's an annoying thing. But I phrased it in the wrong manner when I was originally
Mm.
speaking and saying it's like a bad thing or like an evil thing. Um,
Oh yeah, maybe it's annoying. I don't know.
like I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know. I
he
just
doesn't. He doesn't try to convince people. No, that's not like high. Would you be interested in reading this pamphlet?
no, but that I was coming more from like, well, that's kind of like what missionaries do, right?
Yeah,
Like go to a
no, he's not
place.
like that. No.
Okay. What I was thinking is, yeah, I think I was just thinking of missionaries, and I don't, because they're believing in a religion, and then they go to places and they try and convince people of that true religion, And I just don't think. Well, first of all, I think it's annoying. Um, because I don't want to be. The main point is I don't think if people are like actively trying to convince me of something, and I don't want to be. I don't have the time to listen to them, and I don't want to listen to them. I'll think it's like annoying.
Okay, yeah, because it is annoying, I
Yeah.
guess.
And I think that's just my main point, which is very basic, but um like yeah, I don't know. I can't say if something's bad or not. I don't have a good argument for that. I don't even know if I actually believe that. I don't think I believe that. I think I was just trying to
Okay.
say it's annoying.
You find missionaries annoying. Okay, gotcha. Well, I don't know. I mean, but in their mind, they're right. Um, and they're trying to spread the good word, is what it is. Um, I don't know. And I guess, like, if you're on your way to work and you have a Jehovah's Witness at your doorstep, maybe. I don't know. But, like,
At that point, they're just like solicitors, like the people trying to sell you stuff.
uh,
Um,
yeah, I don't know. That's a touchy subject, it sounds like. I
what,
don't want to talk
solicitors
about.
or religion
No,
people?
no, talking about missionaries
Oh,
and their
okay. Yeah,
duties.
I'm okay with not talking about that. They're usually not in my life ever.
Yeah, I've never had a poor experience with anyone of any religion. We do not discriminate here.
Yeah, I don't think I have a poor experience. I've had kind of funny experiences though. There was this one time I was in downtown Portland and there was this dude who was preaching about some religion and we were waiting for the Max, which is like a overground above ground subway in Portland. And this dude like came up to me and like my friend who I was waiting with, and he started talking to us about his thing, like his whole spiel, and we were like just nodding and stuff. And then he gave us like a business card or something about where you could learn more about this thing. And that's just like solicitation, like trying to sell you a product.
What was the religion?
Yeah, I don't know. I actually kept the card. I remember that distinctly because like a month later I found it somewhere on my desk. But I think I threw that away now, so I don't remember what the religion was.
A shame.
I don't think it's a shame. I don't think it's very important.
Who knows? Maybe you could have been one of the first followers of the next Christianity.
I'm pretty sure it was an established Christianity, but yeah, maybe
Oh,
I
it
could
was.
have.
I thought it was just like some random.
No, 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 no. It wasn't. I don't
Okay.
think it was a super wacko. I think he was just trying to sway people to become followers of that religion. And I don't think he was having a lot of success. But it's okay. If he converts one person a day, I'd say that's pretty successful.
Uh-huh.
Like that's 356 people. 356? Is it 365? Oh my god, how many
It's
days?
365.
Yeah, that's wrong. Why did I say 356? Amazing. I have a funny story from my writing about the professions class. So
Mm-hmm.
that class, one the project that we're working on right now, it is basically for our final project, we had to create a recommendation report as a group. And the two topics we could have done were about recycling or recycling on campuses, I think, or biases and problems with FCEs, like faculty course evaluations.
Wait, well, that sounds like a statistics thing.
Well, the problems with the FCE things, it was specifically with gender and racial bias or something like that. And what we were supposed to do was um like with those FCEs, the main point was that certain genders, like female genders or like transgender people, were the ratings for them were biased. Like that's the main point. And against people of color as well. And we were trying to the goal of the recommendation report is to think of alternative solutions or suggestions that CMU could do to reduce these kinds of biases, or give alternative methods for faculty to get feedback.
They're trying to get you to do their job for them.
No, it's so. This is like what comes to the funny part, right? Because um, I don't know, like I've never heard about gender biases in FCEs because I don't really pay attention to FCE news, but like I can imagine that they're a thing. What's funny is part of the project we had to interview someone, right? And one of the group members of my project was going to interview like people with the with the FCE registrar, or like people associated with that kind of stuff at CMU. And he was having trouble getting an interview until he finally did. And then he interviewed that person, and they didn't know like anything about gender or racial biases in the CMU FCEs. So then, what he was gonna do was then talk to someone more higher up and see if they knew someone. But our professor was like, they might not know also. So I think it might be a good idea to maybe you could just interview faculty themselves, faculty that are passionate or have know a lot about this kind of topic. And then she was like me. And then she just suggested herself to be interviewed, and I was like the whole point of this project, I feel like she has a gripe. Like I feel like people probably rated her poorly, and then she was like, this is a legitimate problem, gender biases in FCEs. But now I'm gonna use that, and because I feel so passionately about it, now I'm gonna like insert myself as a interview candidate as well. And that's just like the thought that was going through my mind when she said that. I was like, really?
This is a baseless claim, by the way. If Miss Professor
Yeah.
whoever is listening to this,
If she
I'm
finds
sure
this,
there's
I'd applaud her because she's outplayed me then for sure. Baseless
I'm
claim,
sure
yes.
there's
It's
no.
just my personal opinions, my personal thoughts. It's kind of funny. Like she just volunteered herself as someone who feels passionately about it. I mean, obviously she feels passionately about it if she's gonna bring it up as one of the two possible things we could do as a group project. But from what I've
So we get
heard,
to pick our project.
yeah, from what I've heard, you have like different stuff that you're doing with your
Mm-hmm.
writing about the professions class.
I'm writing an instruction manual on how to use Google Calendar.
And that's
The
your whole
overall,
like group project, writing
no,
an
the
instruction
overall,
manual.
that's my, yeah, I'm writing an instruction manual. But our overall project is for time management skills to
Oh,
help freshmen at CMU
oh,
with
okay.
developing their time management.
You know what would have been funny if you're saying your group project is writing instruction manuals for Google Suite, like all of their Google apps, and you're doing calendar, you're doing Gmail, and how's that going?
Well, we had a rough draft due today. I'm not entirely sure if any of my group members submitted it, but I didn't.
That's a good
Um,
start.
I said I didn't, so I'm not sure if
I
it's
know that was
been.
sarcastic.
Oh, okay, good. I wasn't sure.
Does your group have to do stuff with having a team leader, and having like a group manager, and having to have meeting minutes and stuff like that?
Yeah, we met like once a couple weeks ago, um, and that's about it. We'll
Wait, but
probably pick a meeting.
are those like documents required, like having meeting minutes and
Yeah,
agendas and stuff like that? Are you being graded on
yeah,
it?
yeah. I think so.
Okay. We are too. Um, we've been having meetings every class period, so I guess we're
Yeah, we were
doing
supposed
more.
to be doing that, but one of the group members leaves halfway through class every time.
Why?
Um, I don't know. She just does. And then the other two. Well, I mean, I'm one of the other two. Don't want to work on it when we have meeting time. So we just like, yeah, so we got this to do. I'll do this and this. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'll do this and this. Sounds good. And then we mute ourselves. And that's it for the rest of the class. And then we go off and do our own thing.
Do you spend the whole class doing those meetings?
I think we were, well, no. Um, like, we didn't have class on Thursday. It's a Tuesday, Thursday class. So we had some meeting time on Tuesday, and we had some meeting time last Thursday, and the Tuesday before that. But it was like at the end because we had some presentations to do, and so we did the presentations, and then afterwards we did the meeting.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and next week is the same thing. We're gonna have class on Tuesday, and then no class on Thursday.
How do you compare this writing class, writing for the professions, with your the first year writing class? Like, not writing about data. That's just how about writing about lit? Like the.
Yeah, writing about lit. I, uh, I I passed no pass to that class. Um, that is all I will say about that class. Yeah, this class. I know what's going on.
That's good. You ever read your book in writing about lit?
I read some of it. Yeah, it's about this lady that is coming to terms with her German heritage.
Do you only read one
Um,
book?
yeah, but no, maybe.
Oh shit, you can't
Mm.
even remember?
We read some short stories. Um, they were they were actually, I really had no business pass failing this class. They were all graphic novels. Um, so like that was the theme of the class. So it was like picture books.
Wait, was the final book, like the girl coming to terms with her German heritage, was that a graphic novel too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Um, it's like it's a high art. It's not like they're not like kids books. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, it's like a real thing. Graphic novels.
Yeah, I'm not making fun of it. I'm just
Uh,
saying they're likely more accessible and easier to read than
yeah.
normal books.
The guy, the professor, was very passionate about graphic novels. I have a lot of respect. Like he's found his thing, and boy, is he passionate about it. He has his basement is like full of graphic novels. It's like
Mm.
shelves upon shelves of it.
Did he show
And
it
he
like
said,
on camera?
no, but I think he said a number. I forgot the number,
Oh,
but
okay.
he has a lot of books. Okay, um, and then he said that he keeps them in his basement. So there you go. Yeah, he wrote some like critique of some lady's book. I remember he like it's on Amazon. I forget what it's called. I could have plugged it. I should have plugged it. But
He wrote a critique
yeah, yeah,
and he
like
published it?
a proper literary critique. Yeah.
Oh. Wait,
Um,
so are you saying like as an Amazon review or like as an
no,
actual
no,
book?
no, as a book,
Oh, okay.
like a
I
proper
thought you
critique
were
of like this.
saying there's like a book on Amazon and he left a Amazon review of
No, no,
as
no,
a
no, no.
proper critique.
No, he has a published work. It's like a definitive work on I forgot her name's graphic novels.
Hmm.
She's like a prolific Israeli graphic novelist.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I thought that was cool. So like the guy knows his stuff. I'll give him that. Very passionate. I did not put into that class what I should have, like relative to what the professor did, because the professor was he really cared deeply about the stuff, and I felt like a bad student because I didn't.
Well, I don't
Oh well.
blame you for not feeling passionate about writing about literature. Um, it's kind of a dry. I'm just not very interested in English
Literature.
or literature. I feel like being forced to read something just makes it so you don't want to read anything. Just kills your drive to read.
Maybe.
So there's one thing that I was thinking of making this a recurring segment of the show. Um, up, but I don't know if this is actually a good idea. What I was thinking is when we did our interview with Gus, right?
Yeah.
We asked a lot of questions about stuff that we're interested to learn more about him,
Mm-hmm.
right? That was like the goal. And throughout these episodes, we've kind of pulled back the curtain, learned more about the um, about both of us by sharing our stories. I thought it would be a cool or interesting part of the show if we each episode we just had one place where we asked something that we're still curious about the other person. Um,
Oh.
do you have any questions for me? I have one question for you, but I'll let you go first if you have something that you can think of.
Wait, is this on the doc, or did you
No,
just
no,
pull
no.
this on me?
I was thinking about it and I didn't put it on the doc.
Damn.
The doc is
Um.
also where we keep all our topics.
Oh yeah, sorry. That's an implementation detail that we're not supposed to be aware of.
You should only see the interface. This is the header
Yeah,
file.
true. Um. Uh. Do you have a middle name?
I do.
What is it?
It's Borgene.
Really?
Yep.
How do you spell that?
It's Borgene.
Borgene. What does that mean?
It is the English pronunciation of my Chinese name.
What's the Chinese pronunciation?
Borjin. So it's not
Oh.
a perfect translation. I don't know why there's R in there. And then the gene is like a how you would kind of phonetically say it. But there's no R. I don't know why there's an
Doesn't
R.
does it mean anything?
I think it means something, and I don't know what it means. I don't know. Like those two words are not very common in the Chinese language. Oh, that's actually something that I learned about. So I don't actually know a lot about this, but what I thought is in because like for English names, I'm guessing like you just think of a cool name and you like name your baby like that, right? You just think of a cool
Unless
name,
it's like a Christian name, right? Like
unless it's a
Peter
Chris.
or John. Then it's like a regular name that's existed for thousands of years.
Right, but like there's not a ton of okay, there is a ton of thought, but there's not like a I don't know, manuals or stuff where you like pick names for most people.
Uh,
Like I'm sure that exists for I don't know, some kind
I
of
mean, sometimes
culture.
if it's like some saint's day, I mean, this is like archaic. They don't really do that anymore. But if you're born on like a feast day for a saint, you're pretty likely to be named after that saint.
Hmm.
Um, right. So
Yeah. My main
if you're
point
born on like
is
St. Patrick's Day, you'll be Patrick.
maybe that wait, that's not what happened. St. Patrick's Day is not my birthday.
No,
Um
I'm just that was an example. Maybe I should have picked something else. I couldn't think of another saint's day.
no, I was just thinking that because maybe my parents did do that, but yeah, they didn't do that. But my main point is that I'm thinking for at least with English names in America, most parents don't like they think they would name their child because it's like they think it's, I don't know, that name's cool, or like it fits their child or something like that, right?
Mm.
What I learned is our Chinese names that my parents gave me and my sister, they actually, there's like a whole process to go through it. You have to like, it's based off of like when you're born, like which days you're born, and then you go through like this manual and you use those values to like get numbers, and then from those numbers, what you have to do is you have to pick characters in the Chinese language that are like have that number of strokes or stuff,
What?
and there's like other restrictions and stuff about I don't know, like what kinds of names. And there's also this thing where there are people who are paid to do this. I don't know what the profession is called, but they like know these books and all these rules and stuff, and people will go to them to get names for their children. Like Chinese names. Like because
That's crazy.
these names are like associated with, I don't know, particular numbers, and it's like there's a lot of my mom actually said the word astrology, like astrology stuff, and connections there, uh, and that was just something I never knew. I thought like with Chinese names as well, they just like thought of two characters that they thought were cool and they just gave it to me, but apparently there was a whole process that they had to go through, and they looked through books and stuff, and they showed us, me and my sister, some of those books. um, it's like, I mean, it's all in Chinese, so I couldn't understand most of it. But
So, so there must be a lot of unique names then, right? And there's like
so the
a whole
thing
book of.
is, like, I think certain names, not the characters, but like how you say the names, they, it's like there's some that are like better or best or something, because I there's other people in my extended family, like cousins or something, that have the same name as me, like the way you say
Mhm.
it, but like the characters are different. um that's one of the things with Chinese, like one sound has like fucking like 20 different characters for the same sound, so there's
Mhm.
like a lot of variety there, but
Do your
um
parents call you by your Chinese name or your
they call
American?
me by a Chinese nickname. I have a Chinese nickname. It's called Fa, like Fa Fa. Like Fa, it means like it's like wealth, not wealth or fortune, something like that. Let me search up the character.
Is that like a common
Uh
child's nickname or?
I don't actually know. Uh I put this word into Google Translate, and it's hair apparently, but it's associated with like it's in a common phrase called fa cai, and that is Google Translate says get rich. Um, it's like fa cai is like success, like I don't know. I think that's the best word to say, like success or something like that. And my nickname is like fa, like fa fa. My sister has like a different one as well, and usually when they like need to call for us or stuff, they'll say that instead of our actual names. I can't
If they're like
even
really mad at you, will they use your actual name?
I'm thinking about the times when they've been really mad at me, and I don't remember them saying my name ever. Like they're just talking to me, and I don't remember them saying my
Hmm.
name. Um,
Okay. Have they ever called you your actual name?
that's what I'm saying. I don't think I can actually remember a time where they're speaking. They use that name in casual conversation. Like I think maybe if they're talking with like a friend or something in public, and then they're like they want to call me over, like in Chinese school, maybe they're talking with somebody else and then they want to call me over, then they would say my Chinese name. And I think that's happened before, but I don't think they would ever just like in the house, they would never say that, my Chinese
And they
name.
never called you Patrick.
Yeah, because we don't speak, we we don't speak English like in the house. We speak Chinese. I speak like a mixture of Chinese slash English, and we speak Chinese with English vocabulary words,
Yeah, that's very
often like
common.
spliced in. Yeah,
Uh,
that's the
Hindi
main
is
thing.
the same thing. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
So yes, they would never say Patrick unless they are calling like I don't know. They're talking with like school people or like teachers like uh they never say Patrick inside the house. They've said it like I don't know when they're at a parent teacher conference or stuff like
uh-huh.
that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's like wow, that's interesting. So it's not. What would you say your name is? Like, what do you identify most as?
Patrick.
Okay,
Just cuz that's what
most people call you.
yes.
Hmm.
And like my nickname in the house like I associate that with I guess my parents because that's what they say it. And yeah, like Patrick is my name, the name that I identify with the most. Like my Chinese name, it would only happen in Chinese school, and I haven't been to that in like 4 years. So, uh, though that name hasn't come up in a while. Yeah, that was something that was interesting that I learned
Yeah.
recently, actually. Um, I thought like you could just pick characters, just cool characters. But I guess not. Guess I'll have to learn that if I ever want to give a Chinese name to a child of mine.
Would you do that?
Do that whole process? Yeah, I mean, I
Hmm.
feel like
That sounds like a heritage thing, you know? Like,
yeah, like it's not. I don't find it bothersome or stupid enough to like where I'd be like, nah, I'm not doing that. I think it's whatever. Sure, I'll do it.
you can go into one of those like nameographers that you were talking about. That like,
Yeah, I think I'll just ask my parents to help me because I think like my parents didn't go to one of those people. It's like a profession in like Taiwan and like people go there, but I don't think they did. I think they did all the stuff themselves, just like through the books, like the astrology books or whatever that tell you how to do this stuff.
without a telescope, see the transition of Mercury.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Do you have a nickname? This was not the question I was gonna ask, but do you have a nickname like that your
No,
parents call you?
no. I've been called Elan in every scenario of my
Okay.
life.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything much from there.
It's very boring. I mean, there's plenty of mispronunciations. Elon, Elan, Elan, even local area network.
Lan.
Um,
Hi, Lan.
um, one time when I was in Niagara Falls, um, uh, I was called Lon. Like I always spell my name whenever I'm giving it to like Starbucks people because like I don't want to come up with a nickname.
I actually
Um,
noticed that, like, when we went to some places, I don't,
mhm.
I don't remember where, but I remember you would like spell out your name sometimes.
Always, every time. I don't know. It's a habit. I just say. I mean, it's 4 letters. So what? Like, how hard could it be? That's just what I do. So I am Elan, Elan. Um, she missed the E, so she was calling out Lon for like 5 minutes. I was very. It was because usually they say like Elan or something, or Alan or Ellen or something. It's
Wait,
always
she
the E
just
there.
has LA. Did she say lawn?
Yeah, she just said Lon.
Wait, that's weird. If you just have LAN, who says lawn for that?
Because I also said my name, right? Elon.
Oh, I see, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
She thought your name was just lawn, like lawnmower.
yeah. So it was interesting, I guess. I've never had that happen before. I've been called Ellen DeGeneres. I was called that a couple times in middle school.
Was
Um,
that used as an insult or just like as a funny
it
thing?
was, I don't know, middle schoolers are weird, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, but I never had proper nickname. No.
So like your friends always just call you Elan too. No funny business.
Yeah, it's not funny business.
Mm.
If they're really my friends.
Ooh, tough. Maybe we need to change that. Come up with a nickname.
Nah, I like my name.
Hmm. If
It's a
there's,
French word.
if you like could have picked a different name, what would you have picked?
Um, I don't know.
Like, like out of any of those really common names that I don't know your friends have as well, are there any that
Alan.
Alan?
Alan.
Oh my
Just
god. Yeah, sure.
I feel like my life would be about the same.
I feel like out of the common names, that I mean Patrick's a pretty common name, so it's what it's actually not that common. It's common enough that it's not out of the ordinary, but
You know what's uncommon?
what?
Sebastian. Do you know any Sebastians?
Uh, I don't think
No,
so.
right?
Yeah, I don't
I'm
think.
telling you, bro. There's like, it's a common name though. There are people in the world named Sebastian.
Yeah.
You've heard it before. That's not a very common name.
I guess like for Patrick, I actually don't know anybody else like in real life called Patrick. I don't know if that's just a failure of my networking, but
But
I don't actually know anybody who's friends who's a Patrick.
do you know any famous people named Sebastian?
I'm gonna search up the name Sebastian. I can't think of any off the top of my head, so I guess that's a failure already.
Like Patrick Stewart. Boom, that's a
Uh,
Patrick.
Patrick Stewart, Patrick Henry, Neil Patrick Harris. Does that count? There's like a Patrick in there.
Sure.
That's about it. I can't think of anything else for Patrick.
Yeah, but you can think of some. You know, some come off the top of your head. To Sebastian? I don't think so.
I don't think there's any big icon figures.
Named Sebastian.
Yeah, I
Because it's not a
can't.
very common name.
I mean, I feel like I've definitely, yeah, maybe
Oh, Michael Collins died.
that came out of
That's
left field.
somebody I know. So I was on Wikipedia looking up Sebastian names. So I went on the front page of Wikipedia, and that was in the news. That's somebody
Wikipedia
I
has
see. I didn't
a.
hear of Cleary, but I've heard of Michael Collins. He's somebody that I have heard of, unlike Cleary.
Uh,
And he also didn't die a month ago. He only died 3 days ago.
hmm,
Oh wait, I just dated this podcast, didn't I?
that's okay. I don't think
It's going out later today anyway.
for you, not yet
Right.
for me.
Oh, I've also placed myself.
I think you placed yourself before. You said you were in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I guess so.
I didn't know there was a front page of Wikipedia. Oh wait, I thought the front page of Wikipedia was that giant logo with the globe and then a giant search bar, and then you could like select which language. But they like changed it, and they have like this main page now.
Yeah, I don't know how long this has been around, but it's nice. They have like featured articles.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
The
like the
social
socialist
Soviet Republic of Abkhazia.
Abkhazia. Yeah, I've never heard of this actually.
What is this, like Tanutuva? No, it's in the
Caucasus.
near, yeah, the Caucasus. Near the, what is this? The Black Sea, Caspian Sea?
Um,
That's the Black Sea,
and
right?
that is the Black Sea. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Black Sea is actually a sea. The Caspian Sea is the lake.
Hmm. What do you have to be classified as a sea?
It's like part of the ocean.
Oh, I mean, it's like barely part of the ocean.
Yeah, but the Caspian Sea is not part of the ocean.
Okay, I guess. Sure. Technicalities. Jeez.
Uh, yeah, but I mean, it's a humongous lake, so might as well call it a sea.
Hmm.
It's like humongous.
I mean, it looks as big as the Black Sea
Yeah.
in this photo. Like if you could just compare the two, lay it on its side, probably has the same amount of water in it.
It depends on how deep it is. I don't know how deep it is. Like Lake
Okay.
Baikal,
Well, I was just saying
it
like
doesn't look that big, but
the area.
oh yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Are you gonna have a lake be that big?
Mm-hmm. Want to go visit there someday?
Yeah, a motorcycle through the water.
Motorcycle through the water. Motorcycle through Russia.
Ooh,
Imagine the people living in Russia. They've got a lot of places to go. I
yeah.
mean, I'm sure a lot of
We
it
have a lot of
is.
places to go.
Yes, United States is a great
Big
place to
country.
visit as well. Do you want to visit all 50 states at some point?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, what is there to do in Mississippi? You know, I mean, I'm sorry to any Mississippian listeners out there, but I think you'll agree with me when I say there's not much to do.
Okay, what is there to do in Texas?
Plenty of things. You can go to San Antonio, walk the Riverwalk, see the Alamo. Go if you're into nature, you can go to Big Bend National Park, see the stars, miles away from any civilization, nature all around you. Bring a telescope. Very nice, no light pollution. Um, if you like beaches, we got beaches. I mean, they're not as good as the Florida beaches, but they're beaches, you know. It's there. We got South Padre Island, you know. If you
Yeah.
like Mexico, we got Mexico down south.
And New
um,
Mexico to the
and
west.
we got a New Mexico to the west too. Yeah, we got
You have the
two
old
time zones.
version and the new
How
one.
many states do you have that have two time zones? Yeah, I mean, not many. Unless you're Arizona, and you have like fucking 10.
That's
um,
supposed to be a selling point that you have two time zones.
I don't know. I'm bringing things up. But I mean, Austin's a nice city. You can go kayaking in the. I mean, that's not really a reason you'd visit, but it's a nice thing to do. Like kayaking in the Colorado River.
So I'll raise you
Um,
this. With Mississippi, you got to go to a state with four S's and four I's.
True.
You can't do
That's
that at
true.
Texas.
Yeah.
Texas doesn't have an S. Oh, it does. One
Of all
S,
the letters,
zero
of all
I's.
the.
I picked the wrong one. I had a 50-50 chance there.
You also could have picked P. P. There's two P's in Mississippi. It's like
Hmm.
a
A PP.
yeah, miss a PP.
I feel like you could say that. Okay, like, so Mississippi, you feel the same way about like Alabama,
Alabama. Yeah.
Arkansas.
Oh, Arkansas is all right. It has some. It has like the Ozarks in it.
The
Um,
Ozarks, that's a TV show.
yeah, it's also a mountain range,
Oh, okay.
and it's also a water bottle company that has a picture of the Ozarks on the
Okay.
label.
Why don't we just go through the fucking states then? Like, what do you think of okay, how about Georgia? It's got Atlanta.
There's Atlanta. There's Savannah. Savannah looks like a nice city that I might visit someday. Yeah.
Okay, so does
Um,
like is like Mobile, Alabama not interesting? Jackson, Mississippi. Like
yeah.
don't they have some interesting cities like relevant to the civil rights movement, like Birmingham, right?
Yeah. Montgomery.
Montgomery.
Yeah, I guess so. They're not really. I mean, there's like a museum there.
Selma.
So
It's got a
yeah,
whole movie.
true.
Okay.
I mean, it's just like Alabama and Mississippi, right?
So
Those are the only two states that I really wouldn't go. I mean, Nebraska also. I don't know about that one.
is there a reason? You just can't
I
think of
mean,
anything?
it's just cornfields, right?
Okay, then how about Kansas? Is it not the
Yeah, I
same?
guess Kansas too.
Okay. Uh,
Kansas is like the flattest state. Have you heard that before?
yeah. I mean,
It's
all
like
of the
geometrically
Midwest.
flat. No, it's like of all the states, it is like as flat as you can get. The
Yeah.
elevation change is like nothing across the whole state. It's the most boring state. Miles and miles of flat.
And it's like all just fields, right? There's like not a lot of trees either, I'm guessing.
I guess I don't know.
That's something I kind of take
It's
for
not really
granted
forested.
in Oregon. There's just trees everywhere and a lot of forests. I don't think there's gonna be forests in Kansas.
Yeah. You want forest? Hey, we got forest in Texas too. Piney Woods, East Texas. Boom, forest.
Boom, forest.
Boom. We got all the things. We got the Great Plains. We got 5 biomes. I remember in my Texas history class, we had to label these things on a map of Texas. You have the coastal plains, the piney woods, the Great Plains, the mountains,
Or sounds like you're
um,
labeling off a fantasy world.
and the hill country. You know, those are the regions of Texas. All the things. I don't know how I remember that. That was many years ago.
Mm,
But
okay. So
we got everything in Texas. It's not a great state. You should come visit sometime.
I have been to Texas. Like, wait, have I? I don't actually know
You've
if I
probably
have.
been to the bad parts, like Houston.
I've been to Dallas Lovegood.
Love Field, actually.
Oh my God. See, I'm not a true visitor. I didn't even know the airport. I
Yeah.
think I've been to Fort Worth too.
What did you
Um,
do in Fort Worth? Oh, yeah, we got the stockyards.
I'm saying
That's
the
nearby.
airport, like DFW.
Oh, DFW. I don't think that's actually in Fort Worth, is it?
I was just saying Fort
Uh,
Worth to refer to the.
yeah, that's the bigger one.
Wait, if Fort Worth is like, it's like next to Dallas, right? But
Yeah.
isn't it not that close? Like, how far away is the two difference?
I mean, it's like the Metroplex. It's like a whole metropolitan area.
Okay. So I
I
guess
mean,
it's
maybe
close
like 20
enough.
minutes. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
to get from the middle of one to the middle of the other. It's like a really big area
Yeah.
because Texas is big. um, yeah, there's like 6 million people, but they're like super spread out.
So how about West Virginia? Actually, I can think of West
Yeah,
Virginia with what's
the
the
song
country road?
"Take
West
Me Home."
Virginia.
Yeah, but would you visit there? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think what do they have?
Are we just
Poverty.
throwing like all the non-interesting states then? Okay, how about South Carolina?
um, there's something in South Carolina, right? Some surely. You can visit Fort Sumter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is there nothing in South Carolina?
All our South Carolina
If you're from South
listeners.
Carolina, you should leave a comment saying
Mm-hmm.
if you're from any of these states, Georgia.
Yes.
Okay, Georgia, we already said good things about it. But
We
Alabama,
said two
Mississippi,
cities.
those are like the big. Those are nice cities. Okay, I mean that's all you really need, right?
Okay.
Um,
Well,
but
like
if you're from Kansas, Nebraska, or from if you're
Alabama.
from any of the boring states that people think are boring, you leave a comment saying why your state is not boring. Or if you think it's boring, leave a comment saying why you think we're right.
Okay, so do you think states like Idaho, Montana are boring?
um, where's Yellowstone? Is that Montana?
That's
Is it
Wyoming.
intersect? Yeah, it's like in multiple states though, right? Like spans across.
Uh, Yellowstone National Park is somewhere. Oh, yes, it says National Park, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming.
There you
Okay,
go.
I guess covers all three states. There you go. How about North Dakota? Which one is the Mount
Mm,
Rushmore in? That's South
South
Dakota.
Dakota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the point of North Dakota?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Iowa is another one. Why would you go to Iowa?
You go there to vote first in the
Yeah.
caucus.
Right. Right.
That's
Exactly.
about it.
It's like Minnesota is another one. And I mean, actually, most of the states, but most of the states, I don't know why
Okay. How
people go
about
to.
Oregon?
Yeah, go see Portland. You know, visit Patrick. I got reasons to go.
Yeah. I'd still
Indiana.
wanna. I'm sure like you could find interesting things to do in each of these states, except maybe Kansas. Like Kansas seems like it's just lost.
I think you could back. Remember when there was the eclipse in 2019?
Yeah, that
Uh,
was through Oregon.
yeah, I think it was also through Kansas. That
What
was
the
like the
fuck?
closest place. Or
Oh
like
yeah,
place
it
across the
like
U.S.
slashed across the U.S. I
Yeah,
forgot.
yeah. So that would be a reason to go.
I mean, it's not unique to Kansas though. That's
I
actually
remember
so
watching a video.
fortunate. Yeah, I experienced it, dude. Wait, that's actually a great story. We traveled down to McMinnville, which is like where
Mm-hmm.
the Beverly
Curie.
Cleary,
Yeah,
right? Um,
yeah.
and that was we like waited there for I don't know. There was like this giant expanse of a lawn area outside the McMinnville Air and Space like water park slash museum place, and there's just like a lot of so they opened that place for people to like view the eclipse. And there was just a ton of people there, and when the eclipse came, it was so surreal for because for a whole minute it was like nighttime. It was actually like dark.
Wow. Could
It
you look at it
was
without glasses?
I think during that we were supposed to wear glasses, but I think everybody took it off for at least the eclipse part.
Mm.
Um, yeah, you weren't supposed to. I remember we were given glasses, but I just I don't
Yeah,
think
I
I.
know because if it's partial, you're not supposed to. But if it's a full eclipse, I think you're allowed to. Like you won't super damage your eyes
Yeah,
with
I
the
think we were
eclipse.
supposed to like put them on even when it was like getting darker and darker. It was so
Hmm.
weird. It was like just getting darker and darker. But I remember when it became the full eclipse, it just went like completely dark. I mean, it wasn't like completely dark because people had their lights on and stuff, and the lights on in
Hmm.
the nearby buildings. But it was like nighttime. Like, actually, I won't say nighttime because nighttime is like pretty dark. It's like
Dusk.
dusk, yes.
Mm.
And this was like in the middle of the day for like a whole minute, and then it went back. I wish I'd taken
See,
photos of it. I think I
it
did take
happened.
photos, but it's on my old phone, which I don't have anymore.
You should use Google Photos. Not a sponsor, but it's good for backing up photos. Or if it's an iPhone, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was during school for me. It was like the first couple days of school. I don't know if it was the first or the second. Um, and also it didn't pass directly over Texas. Uh, we only got a partial eclipse, but it was interesting. It was like all the shadows were weird. Uh, like if you made a circle with your fingers and held it out into the light, the shadow would not be a circle. It would be like a crescent because the moon was partially blocking the light from the sun. I thought that was cool. And if you looked at like the shadow of the leaves or whatever, it would be like a bunch of little crescents. It was so weird. Um, and then the science department gave us some glasses that we could use to look at the partial eclipse during our lunch period, and that was my experience.
It was a cool experience.
Yeah.
See, that's the kind of stuff I completely forgot about it, but now I'm thinking about it again. That
Yeah.
was
So what
fun.
did you want to ask me?
Oh, right. Back to that. I was curious, um, how did you get started with doing cello? How did you pick out that instrument, or did your
The
parents like pick it
cello.
out?
See, I don't really like talking about the cello.
You don't?
You know, because I feel like a fake cellist. Like I'm not actually a cellist.
Okay, I guess you
um,
can say, like, I wouldn't think of myself as a pianist as well, because when you say it like that, it implies you do it kind of like as a profession, or you're like very, like, as a profession, I feel like.
yeah.
So, okay, you're a cello player, like,
No,
or
even
you
then,
play
that's a
the
bit of a
cello
stretch. I don't. I have touched the cello before. That is the way I look at it.
many times.
Not very many times. No. Um,
Okay, so how long have you played the cello?
See, that's a bit misleading, right? If I put a number on it, like 9 years or whatever, that sounds like a long time, right? It sounds like a super long time.
Okay, contextualize it, like, how many times a year?
Um,
How often did you practice?
Not often.
What is not often?
um, I don't know. Like the last time I played. Well, like last time I touched it was maybe a couple of weeks ago. So I
Okay.
mean, I was also never very good. Uh, like it was never a huge part of my identity. I think it holds a bigger place in like your perception of me and like the CMU friend group's perception of me than it does back home. I'm not entirely sure why. I guess it's because I had to like lug it into my dorm room and like everybody could see in my living space there was this huge cello like that was there and I played it sometimes. So like it kind of morphed your perception of me, but it's really not a huge part of me, right? Like I don't identify myself as somebody who plays the cello. That's not like how I see myself. You know,
Okay, that's
that's
okay.
like somebody who's like touched a cello. That's okay. That's just some pretext. It was sixth grade, and we had to pick an instrument. And we had to pick either band, orchestra, or choir. We were required to have some music
Oh wow.
education.
Okay.
And so a bunch of my friends picked orchestra, and I went to some like instrument fitting thing at the school. It was like an exciting time. They were like, "Oh, you're big. You should pick the cello." And it's big. Um, and it's true. I mean, it's like, can you imagine me playing the violin? Um,
Yeah.
it would be like it's hard because my fingers are long and they have to be like very close together. It's
Mm.
possible, but yeah. Um, and so I was like, yeah, okay, sure, I'll play the cello. Why not? And then I picked the cello. And then I'm really bad at giving things up, so I never let go of it. I just kind of like it's a vestige of another time.
Slightly off topic from that, but you had the in my middle school, we had something similar, but it was a pick between band and art. We didn't have any orchestra, and what was the third one that you said?
Choir.
Oh, choir. Yeah, we didn't have choir either. So it was like you had to either take an art class or band. And so that's
Mm.
why I can play the piano, and I used to be able to play the trumpet as well. And I still have my trumpet, like it's in the closet, like 6 feet away from me.
When did you stop playing?
After middle school, because I just
Oh,
I didn't like the trumpet that much. Like it was for band and for band only. Like piano was my preferred instrument if I had to play an instrument.
hmm.
The main thing with the trumpet was just I just ran out of breath a lot, and I don't like having to fuck, fucking blow and just run out of breath when you can not do that with other instruments and you aren't gasping for breath each time and like blowing out your cheeks. Like my mouth and my cheeks would hurt after a while, which I don't want to be doing that when I'm playing an instrument. I'd rather, I don't know, work out some other part of my body than
Mm.
that. So that was just an aside about that.
How long have you been playing the piano?
Yes, a long time. So I haven't been playing it like ever now these past like 2 years. but I played it since I don't know when I was actually. I
Oh
don't
wow.
know.
Okay.
Um, I know for sure it's at least 10 plus years. So there's that. And just like you, I would say I'm not very good.
Hmm.
But did you only ever play the cello for school orchestra and those kinds of occasions?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like there was always a solo thing that we would do, like a little event, and so I had to prepare a solo for that. But okay, so the thing is, okay, the reason I say this is because I don't think I've ever like made music. You know, I've never like sat down and played a thing from start to finish where it was musical. Like it sounded like good. You know.
Okay, that's
Um,
subjective. Like you played
no,
out a
because like
song, like a
no, but
composition.
it was never musical though.
What does that mean? It's not
Yeah, it's like
musical.
there's a difference between like sitting. You can like sit down and play the notes, right? You'll miss a couple, but that's not music, right? You have to like shape it nicely. That's what the musician does. And I've never done that, and I don't think I ever will be able to
Okay.
because that's something that takes some dedication
I
and
feel like
practice
you
to do.
did do that. You just probably feel like it wasn't good enough. Like you didn't do it a lot.
No, I don't think I've ever done it.
Like as you're playing the notes, you are paying attention to like dynamics and stuff. So like, right?
Yeah, but it's like
You might not have done that really well, but you're still playing the piece.
no.
I
um,
disagree. I feel like you are. I feel like it's semantics that you're trying to cop out of.
no, no. I've never properly played music with the cello. It's not something I've ever done.
Okay. Reason I asked is with piano, there's a it is like a solo instrument
Hmm.
usually, right?
Unless it's the accompaniment. I see if you pair a piano and like any other single instrument, the piano is the accompaniment.
Hmm.
If you have a cello sonata, it's cello and piano, but the cello gets the name on the piece. Or a violin sonata, it's a violin and a piano, but the violin is what's the showcase.
Yeah. I feel like out of all classical instruments though, like piano
The
gets the most listen
solo.
time. Yeah, solo.
Listen time and also solo time.
Hmm.
Because it's very, I mean, the breadth of the instrument is like humongous, right?
Yeah.
You could play 10 different notes at the same time.
Play yeah.
I mean, I guess you could play more, technically.
Yeah, 10 is more of the number. Um why was I mentioning that? Oh, it's because it's very solo focused, you could say. Especially when you're just learning it as a child, you're probably not doing accompaniments. I had to do competitions and stuff. Uh, yeah, so I was just wondering if you had to do that as like a cello player, and I'm guessing not.
Yeah, there was like a solo. Well, first of all, there was the regional sort of the regional orchestra thing, and then the all-state orchestra.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I never made anything like that because I'm not a cellist, but it was some like quasi required,
I
I
mean, those are
guess.
tough because it's like the whole region
State.
or the whole
Yeah,
state.
my high school had like 7 all-state cellists,
Just in
um,
cellists?
just in cellists. Yeah,
Wow.
one of them was actually second chair. So yeah,
So were the others like
Um,
fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth chair? Is that how they number the
um,
chairs? Just they
yeah, that's how they know
count
the chairs.
down?
But no, there's like multiple orchestras also, like multiple.
Okay.
I mean, Texas is a very big state, so they have like it's like big. A lot of people get this stuff. Um, so I guess depending on your ranking, you get different orchestras, and then
So
this
he
that.
was
So
he
like
second chair in the best
in the
state
very top
orchestra?
orchestra, yeah, that's
Wow.
a like a tremendous accomplishment.
So second
um,
chair is only second to first chair.
yeah,
Only second.
only second. Um, yeah,
So you
so
could
they were
say,
all very good.
wow,
See, yeah. So I mean, if you want perspective on how bad I was, um,
relative.
I was probably mm, like 50th percentile maybe in terms of placement
See, that's not
in
bad.
my high school orchestra. And so high school is like not representative of the whole state.
I know, but that's still not bad. Like
That's pretty
that's
bad.
that's still better than 50%.
Yeah, but I mean, that's pretty bad, bro. I mean, that's just in my high school. Okay, like it's in the state. It's probably like who knows. I'm probably in the bottom 20%. Who knows of cellists, if you can call them that.
So you didn't
Um,
do like
and
individual stuff
oh
then?
yeah, yeah. And so that was that. And so we also had this thing called solo and ensemble.
Hmm.
Um, and so you could prepare a solo, do it, and they like grade you, give you some feedback. It was kind of chill, but you know, you'd go. That was like all organized by the district and the state music association, all this stuff, right? Uh, of course, there was like other things, but I never participated in any other competition, like a private thing. Um, I just did school stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of repertoire for cello.
Hmm.
They have like famous pieces.
Yeah.
Um, Violin, of course, has famous everything. Viola and bass, not so much.
Is
Um,
viola just a even higher version of the violin?
no, no. It's in terms of pitch, it's between the violin and the cello.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a tenor voice, sort of alto.
So violin is
um,
like the highest one then.
in the string section, yeah.
All right.
The soprano is usually the one that gets the melody, the highest voice, and so the
Yeah.
violin is usually the one that gets the melody. But I mean, that doesn't mean the cello doesn't. I mean, sometimes just that, you know, different solos here and there passed around the orchestra.
Is
So yeah,
bass like an
I'm
instrument, a classical instrument?
the double bass, yes. The the big the big one.
Okay. Because when I
That's
think of
the
bass, I think of like bass guitar first.
yeah. They're closely related instruments. Um, but yeah, the bass it's the double bass that's in the orchestra. They're an important part. They're like the grounding sort of everything. But I wouldn't know because I'm not a musician.
At least you have experience with music theory, so you can appreciate music.
I don't think you need experience with music theory to appreciate music. I think it's something that's like innate to humans.
That's true. Yeah.
It's just like sounds
With
put
music
together
theory,
that
you
sound
can
nice.
appreciate more music. Like understand, as in understand some of the more technical stuff that goes behind the
Hmm.
pieces.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, I'm sure these composers were like well versed in it, especially the later ones. But I don't think they were always bogged down and like, okay, we need the common tone median modulation from the 5/7 of 4 to 5 right here. Okay, that's the perfect. I think they were less concerned with that and more concerned with making pretty sounds. Now, until you get to the later ones. The later ones are different.
What do you mean by later ones? Like more contemporary?
Yeah, like the 20th century, basically. You got like Stravinsky and stuff. I know very little about. Yeah, this is not my territory, so I'm not going to
Wait,
comment on
what
it.
about those people? Like, are you saying they're more music theory focused with
Yeah,
how they
like
compose?
Schoenberg, and yeah, it's like a science almost that composing has turned into. Um, I don't know. It's different. A very different kind of music that started getting produced in the 20th century. Modern
Mm,
music. So I don't understand it, so I can't comment on it.
okay.
But apparently it's beautiful.
Do any of your people from high school, those really good, like I'm guessing it's not just cellists as well. There's very talented
Yeah. Oh yeah.
musicians.
We got plenty of people. Uh-huh.
Were
They were on, like honor orchestra. Our chamber orchestra was like the Texas honor orchestra every other year, and the only reason it was every other year is because you can't win 2 years in a row, for like 5 years or something, 6 years.
so they like
And
pick
so
a
they,
high school orchestra as
yeah,
the honor orchestra?
yeah, and then they get to go out and play for the convention of Texas music people. And
Did
there's
you
a whole
play
thing.
for them? Because
No,
you're
because
part
I
of the.
wasn't in the top orchestra.
Oh, the top. Wait, so you had separate orchestras in your
Yeah,
high
we had
school as
like,
well.
yeah. Hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No, the top orchestra was like almost like a university level orchestra, right? Um, and so that was for the good people that actually cared about playing and practiced and stuff.
So
That was not for me.
those really good people, were any of them your like close friends?
Yeah, yeah.
And for college, are they still pursuing music?
Mm, none of my friends know
Okay.
that were playing the cello or the violin or any instrument. But vast majority of them know. They didn't study music. They're doing other things.
Hmm.
Um, Thinking of the cello section in particular, cello was far from the only thing that they were good at. These people were true, like uomo universale, you know. Um,
I've never heard that term.
like they were good at everything. Um, I don't know. There's some very. I don't toss around the word smart very lightly. Okay. They were very smart people. They're probably some of the smartest people I've met.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
Your whole high school just seems pretty stacked.
No, not the whole high school. Remember, there were 1,350 people in this high school, in this class, my graduating class. So
Okay.
this is just the top.
It's a pretty good top.
Yeah. Um,
Do you know if any of those people, so since they were all of them like that, like super smart in a lot of different fields?
all of them. I mean, I don't know. There was. I don't know. I don't remember who was uh, in the top orchestra. That's not really how I categorize people
Do you know
in
if
my
any
head.
of them, since they didn't pursue music afterwards, if they would have like wanted to do that?
I don't know. I mean, they still play. They're in like the orchestra at their schools or whatever.
Mm, like
Um,
you are.
and I'm not anymore. I mean, not this semester at least. Maybe next semester we'll see. Um, Also, the senior orchestra takes literally anyone. um,
It's not even the real orchestra, isn't it? Like the one
Yeah.
that
This is the
you're
all
in?
university orchestra that I'm in. The major orchestra is really, really good. Um, they don't take literally anyone. They have a lower acceptance rate than like computer science.
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's hard to make it in music, especially classical music.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You have
Well,
to train like every day for 3 hours since you're 4 years old, and then maybe you have a shot at becoming one of the greats.
what other music were you thinking about? You're saying like especially classical? You're just saying in
Mm,
music in general, like singing or
yeah, I
producing?
guess music in general is hard to make it. Any kind of performing arts.
I feel like any kind of entertainment industry.
Yeah, any kind of performing arts, right? Acting, singing. Um,
It's competitive because a lot of people want to do it. So then the work that you have to put in to make yourself stand out is even more.
Not only
And
that, but a lot of people are really, really good too.
yeah. So yeah, you have to put in like even more work to
Hmm.
make yourself stand out. And then people get burnt out for that and then they quit. So then only like I don't know, a few can really do it,
Yeah,
reach the top.
and like it's exclusively people that have been training since they were like 6 years old.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
does that mean like it's like a privilege, it is like a privilege um if you're
if you have
if
the
you
means
did
to train since you were 6 years old, yeah,
yeah, if you
I
didn't
guess
have that then you couldn't reach. It's a
yeah, you
lot
can't.
harder
That's true.
to near impossible.
Probably impossible. Um, you need like it's like a machine, that like churns out musicians, like high quality musicians, and like everything has to go right in the process to generate a good musician.
No hiccups, no malfunctions.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
and
such
me,
a
I have started late and also never practiced, and here we are.
well, that's
So
okay because you weren't trying to become.
right, yeah, that's why I don't say that I'm a musician. It's like an insult to musicians to call myself a musician.
No, I think that's
um,
okay to say you're not a musician. um I think you were like trying to say you're not even a cello player.
I'm not.
Well, if you play the cello, you are a cello player. If you know how to do it.
I don't really play the cello. I mean, I can make noises out of any instrument. Right? Can I play the violin? No. I can make noises out of it though. Trumpet, I can pick up your trumpet and like
Yeah, you
blow
probably
into it.
don't want to do that. The mouthpiece is not very washed.
Yeah, but
Hasn't
I mean,
been cleaned.
I could make noise. Should I play
Um,
the trumpet? I don't think so. Should I grab
Actually,
some
could you? When I
bongos?
started the trumpet, like I don't think I could make noise because you have to like blow in a particular way. If you don't know how to do it, you actually won't even make sound. So I just shot down your analogy.
Okay, I can go to the piano. I can push the buttons. Okay, Can I play the piano? No.
Okay, but okay, you know what? It's no use arguing with you. You're like
Yeah, I know
your
because I'm right.
no, you're like your communist friend. You're set in your belief there, and there's
It's
no
true
going
because
around
I'm
it.
right.
Okay, okay, all right. Keep telling
Yeah,
yourself that.
you've attached this idea of me playing the cello. It's too. It holds a much larger portion of your view of my identity, I think, than it should.
I don't even associate that much of your identity. I just say I
Yeah,
just
it was enough for you to bring up this question, right? But none of my friends from back home would ask me this kind of question.
what kind of
Uh,
questions would your friends back home ask?
I don't know. I don't think most of them actually know that I play the cello. um,
So what would they ask? Imagine they're doing a podcast, okay? and you're as a
Hmm.
guest, what would they ask you, do you think? Like if
I
you
don't
can
know what
think
they don't
about
know
yourself.
about me.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe they would ask you about the cello because they don't know that about you.
Hmm. I don't know. It's hard. I don't like playing um,
The cello?
when others are around.
Oh,
It's like
when
a
others
negative
are around.
feedback loop, you know? So my roommate never leaves the house because of COVID, right?
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying
And so,
your old roommate from
no, no,
freshman
no.
year. He never
Uh,
leaves.
no, because of COVID, right?
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
no, that makes sense. Yeah.
so,
Can't you do it in your
and I don't
room
like it.
though? So like he won't
It's
hear it.
not, you can hear, there's
Okay,
like
but that like
paper.
then how did you practice in your dorm before in freshman year? Like people could hear that. I could hear that too. I remember hearing that.
Yeah, that was a necessary sacrifice. There's not much I could do about that. Sometimes,
So why don't you? How is it different now? Is it just you
well, now he
don't?
sometimes leaves, so I'll play when he leaves.
Oh, okay. I see. That makes
Um,
sense.
but now he like almost never leaves, so I almost never play. So here we are. It's been 2 weeks since I've last played, quote unquote.
Do you actually enjoy playing it? Like when you
It's
do
okay. I
play?
mean, it's fun. Yeah, I mean, I guess.
At least
I,
that's
I mean,
better than
yeah,
you
it's like,
hating it.
yeah, yeah. If I hated it, I wouldn't do it. That's good. I mean, I mostly do it so that I don't totally forget everything, you know,
No.
because then I'll never play again. Um, like I said, I'm really bad at giving things up. So I'm like I grow very attached to things.
So does that mean if you start something, you're gonna get attached to it, or is it just the things that you put enough time into, like it crosses a threshold?
I guess it crosses the threshold. Yeah. I don't know. If you get into the habit of something, it starts to break, right?
So playing the cello
Uh,
became a habit.
it's like a very sparse thing, right? I do it now mainly to just like not forget because if you forget, it's hard to remember.
I don't know. I feel like you could have muscle memory with that kind
You
of
lose it
stuff.
though. I mean, I remember I whipped out something that I played like years ago. It was as though I had
Yeah, I
never
think you
looked
would
at it
lose it,
before.
but I don't think it would be that difficult to regain it. Like you play it a couple times and you could get back into the groove quite easily. I
Mm.
feel the same with piano, like at least with myself. I haven't played in a large while and my fingers would be like super inflexible and stuff, but um
Dude, okay, so have you heard of the Taubman approach?
the goblin?
Taubman.
Nope.
All right, I took some piano lessons one time years ago, um, and my teacher showed me this way of playing the piano. That's very strange. I mean, I thought it was really cool. Okay,
Wait, spell it again?
uh,
Taubin?
T, Taubman. So it's
Taubman.
like T-O-U. I mean T-A-U-B man
Oh, Taubman. Okay.
approach. Yeah, and it's just like this way of like holding your hands, not holding your hand, like positioning your hands. Um, in a way to like strike the keys to reduce the strain you're putting on your wrist and your like tendons, your finger muscles. Um, and it just like is natural. It's weird. And so now I look at people who are obviously way better than me at the piano because I haven't played. I mean, I haven't like touched the piano in years, right? Um, and I see them and they're like moving their fingers in these weird contortions. And I'm like, no, that's not how you're supposed to play the piano
Like it's
because you're gonna
not.
like fuck up your wrists and shit.
Oh,
Um,
I see.
and so the Topman approach is like it also looks natural to play the piano that way. It's like your finger, your like hand is like resting on the keys almost as you play. and it's like butter flowing through all the keys.
It's like butter.
And it's like I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's like a way better way, in my opinion,
I mean,
and in the opinion
I
of
don't
my
get
piano
how
teacher.
it's different. Like what I'm seeing, it's so weird. There's like no photos. I'm trying to look up photos of this
I
thing.
mean, it depends on how you were taught. I mean, you could have been taught a lot of the principles of this because a lot of these are like good practice, like to have.
Like
Um,
curved fingers.
yeah, like with your fingers, like when you're doing like a upperty bass or something, you want to like rotate your wrist. I mean, you want to like rotate your like whole arm or whatever, as opposed to just like lifting up and down your fingers, right? Like you almost never want to like lift your fingers and like push them down using your fingers, right? Everything should like come down with the weight of your arm, right? Um, and so like if you're gonna preempt, you want to position your arm in a way to preempt the next key. Um, and so I don't know. It's like a different mode of thought. I didn't. I like this. These are little things that I didn't know like existed in the world of piano. Now I do. And so there's like a whole world of little things and all these different disciplines. I don't know, bro. I'll never understand the world.
Yeah, I mean, I have more. I've been more involved with the piano world than you, and I didn't know about this at all. So
It's like
interesting.
it's a pedagogy method, right? It's a teaching method. So you don't really hear about it if you're learning piano. Like this is a method of how to teach somebody to play.
Well, I guess your teacher specifically mentioned it then.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, he did.
How old were you when this?
This was between senior year and
Oh, okay.
freshman.
So you were learning it pretty.
Yeah, I was going all right. I went through like a whole beginner book in a day, in a week.
Damn.
Um,
I want to hear you play.
I mean, I've forgotten everything now.
You'd be
I'd
surprised.
have
I
to.
bet if you went in front of a piano, you could like go through the beginner book again. Like it wouldn't take that much. That's kind of
Yeah,
the
beginner
point I
books,
was
I'm
trying to say.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
Now that you've learned it, and even though you might be rusty, I think you could regain at least enough to pass through that like pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Damn, all this, I kind of want to play piano again. I think I will tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't have a piano nearby. I can't even. Yeah, I would go, though. I mean, I want to take lessons again. I remember he was like, at the end, towards the end, he was like, okay, you need to know this, this, and this, so that when you go off on your own to find another teacher, you'll remember this. Because it's like not commonly taught, this method. And so it's like, he was like, this is the superior method. He didn't say this, right? But I assume this is what he was thinking, you know? So he was trying to instill all the good habits in me before I went off to another teacher.
I mean, I
Um,
guess it worked. You like can recite them, right? You were saying I mean, you were listing
no,
them
I
all out.
don't. I feel like it was only a couple months though, right? I'm sure there's way more that I missed out on. Um, and like every lesson, he would correct me on something I was doing wrong. There was never like a time when I came and I played and he was like, "That was good," which is like that's good. That's like that's how the teachers are supposed to be, right?
Well,
Um,
I feel like it's a balance. You don't want to do that all the time. You
no,
want to
I
at
mean
least give
he praised
encouragement.
me, right? He was
Okay.
like, "This is this and this." Good.
Oh, I
Like I
see.
remember
Okay.
I was playing this like Chopin thing, right? Um, and then like the next student came in and he was like, "Guess how long he's been playing?" In reference to me, right? And she was like, "I don't know." And he said like 6 weeks, and she was like, "Wow." So that was pretty
Ooh,
good.
nice.
That gave me the good buzz feelings, you know, of teacher praise. Um,
Damn, that's good.
um, and so okay, that felt good, right? So I guess I was doing something right, but I feel like I've forgotten a lot, like of how to do it. I know like the basic principles of it, but I don't think I could sit down at the piano without guidance and then just like be able to perform them uh, naturally. Because you have to like, unless you're like some kind of virtuoso prodigy child that like all these things come naturally to you. You have to like think about how to like position your arms and stuff and lay down your hands. Because like you shouldn't get tired is basically what it is when you're playing the piano. You should be able to go on forever. You should never get like pain in your wrist when playing, right?
Yeah, I probably did it wrong then. My fingers would get tired after a while.
I mean, I guess you can get tired, yeah, but like you shouldn't feel pain, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah, I don't think
I
I
mean,
had that. I feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
to get pain, you have to do some really bad stuff, like really be, I don't know, mashing your fingers or something.
No, I mean it's like overuse of the like if you um like your fingers aren't very strong, right? Like the muscles they go back into your wrist or whatever. And so if you're constantly like contorting them in weird ways to like press the key.
Wouldn't your hand get used to that though,
No, not
and
really.
learn from it?
Um, they don't really get that much stronger. I don't think that's a good thing that happens. And anyway, that's not where like you shouldn't rely on that. Is the thing, right? That's how you get carpal tunnel, right?
For
It's like
playing
overuse.
piano?
No, no, no. But it's like overuse of that thing, you
I
know.
didn't even know. I thought carpal tunnel was the wrist, not the fingers.
Well, it's all on the wrist anyway, right?
Yeah, but I didn't know that's. You were talking about like the fingers, so I didn't know that was associated with
They're
carpal
all
tunnel.
related. I don't know. I don't think it. Nah, maybe I'm flubbing some things together. But you're not supposed to push down. That's the thing, right? Like with you,
Okay.
like you hold out your hand, right? And if you want to press down a key, this is one of the things he told me, right? You shouldn't like move your finger to push down the key, right? Like you shouldn't be like consciously pushing your finger down, right? It should be your whole arm that comes down on the key. You know, it's like the heavy-handed fall
Hmm.
that pushes down the key.
I'll keep that in
That's how.
mind next time I play. I'm learning something new.
No, you don't think about these things though when you're doing it, right?
Yeah, I
It's
probably like when I do
you
play.
probably you have the good habits already, right? So you don't have to think about
Yeah,
this.
hopefully. I don't actually know
Uh,
because I don't pay attention to it. But yeah. Awesome. Well, I feel like I learned something new. It wasn't even directly related with the original question, but
I
this is something new. The Tobman method. Tubman. Tubman?
think it's Topman.
Tobman. The Tobman approach. It's just a
So
fancy term. I'll just use that next time.
yeah, and not a lot of people have heard it. I mean, I know I've only asked two people this that play the piano, and neither of them have heard of this. Um,
Am I
so I
one of the
guess it's not
two?
really. Yeah, you're one of the two. So
Maybe
I'm not sure.
because like students aren't supposed to know it, and it's supposed to be like teachers that like just implement it. They teach
Yeah, I
it.
guess.
All right. Awesome. Well, that was episode 7, TBD3B.
Thanks. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Like,
And
subscribe,
like, subscribe, follow,
press the bell thing.
subscribe. I already said that. Leave a comment. Oh yeah, defend your state. Maybe defend your
Yeah.
country. If we got international, probably not.
Well, I can think of one.
Yeah, maybe. Um,
Sug, Canada.
dude, you don't need to call him Sug anymore.
I don't know, man. It's a habit. I cling on to things.
Kurtap,
Sure tap, nail,
Nail,
Nirda, Sajit.
Nirda, Sajit. Wait, we're never changing that one though. Sajit's too good. Maybe we'll get Sajit on someday. He
Yeah.
stops playing video games for once. But yeah, thanks everybody for listening. Make sure to follow. We'll have some other episode sometime in the future. And until next time.
See ya.